So a 40 or $50 increase in your acquisition cost, it doesn't sound, dramatic, but across hundreds of customers per year, it can erase, your profit. And so the companies that can dominate their market are going to track their acquisition cost monthly because they can understand how the inefficiencies can compound with time. And so here we have two data sets. The first one is just your leads, where they come from, the date and time, where they're coming from, are they a new customer, and then the job type, did you make the sale, the cost of the lead, the revenue if you did make the sale, and then the gross profit and the margin. So what we need to do here is we need to strip out the month and the year. The way we do that is with the text function. So equals text, go to the timestamp of your lead date, and then quotations and 4 M's. And that's how you can get the full name of the month. And to get the year, same function, text, and then comma, and then 4 Y's. And then you get the year that way. Okay, we already have that here, so I'll just delete it. I just wanted to show you. And then the next thing here is just a simple monthly cost column, right? For marketing and software. And you might have agency cost, you might have different salespeople cost, but you also, and overhead cost. But here we're assuming overhead is included in this, but you would need to get sort of total cost of your operations to calculate this, but we're just putting everything into the same bucket for marketing and then just software tools. And then strip out the month and the year the same way that you did before. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to get a unique list of the month and the year to start this. And so you can go here and highlight this range and press enter using the unique function. And then you have that here. I'm going to copy this and then I want to paste the values by pressing Control-Shift-V. And then here I'm just going to add, just for the chart, I'm going to add a date column. And we're just going to combine these two just to get a list of the dates. Okay, so what we need now is we want lead cost, which you get from the first tab, the leads tab, and then we want the marketing cost, say marketing cost, and then the software cost. And then from here we can get the customer acquisition cost, and then we can create a target here. Okay, so the lead cost, we need to sum. We want to sum the lead cost if the row is January and the row is 2025. So essentially for all of these leads for January, we want to get the sum of this column, January 25, which is 9643. So to do that, we want to use the SUMIFS. So sum the lead cost column if the month is January and the year is 2025. And we already have it in a table called table leads, and we want to sum the, where are you? Lead cost here, and we want to do it with table leads, month, not month, sorry, the month is the column that we created, is this, and then again, table here, it's not table cost, it's table leads, and then here, table leads, and then the year is C3. And so we have that, we can double click that down. I'm going to press Control-Shift-4 to format it as $1. Okay, and for the marketing cost, what I'll do is I'll go into the data set this time, but for marketing cost, we want monthly costs, but here, this where the month, comma, is B3. If you remember, the month was B3 on the other sheet. And then the year, comma, is C3. Until we have 7,800. Again, Control-Shift $. Perfect. And then for the software cost, what I'll do is I'll do it here this time. So table cost, software tools, and then again, table cost, month is B3, table cost, year is C3. And then we have that. Okay, so now let's just drag the other double click to get it all the way filled down. And then the customer acquisition cost, what we actually need a new column here. We need customers. And So from what we can do with this is on the leads tab, we just want to count how many customer types are new. You can do new here or you can do yes here, either one. And so equals, this time it's COUNTIFS because we want to count the number of rows. We don't want to sum anything. So table leads, and then from here, it's going to be new customer flag or customer type. I'll do either one, but customer type, I'll do new, comma, and then table leads, the month is B3, table leads, the year is C3 here. So now you have the number of customers. Just double click that down and you have the customers. So now what we need to do is we need to take the sum of these and divide it by the number of new customers. So equals the sum of these three divided by H3. And then you have that here. Let me see, something looks off. Oh, I know what the problem is. So this is counting new customers, but what we need to do is we need to count new customers that are actual customers. This is counting new leads. And if you remember in the table leads column, there was a sale closed because we got to make sure that the sale was closed, right? Because if not, then it's not a new customer. And then I'll double click this down. Because the other one is essentially it's your cost per lead at an overall level, like with a fully loaded cost per lead versus how much marketing, how much I spent on marketing divided by the number of leads I got. But yeah. Okay, and then for here, let's just say 300 is a target. And I'm just going to do equals the one above it. Because when I do equals the one above it, I can change this and everything changes. And then from here, I'm going to remove the decimals. Okay, so now we want to create this chart here. And so the columns here are going to be the number of new customers, and then the red line is going to be the acquisition cost. So what I'll do is I'll highlight the date here, and then I'll hold down Control, and then highlight both of these. Oh, sorry, I need to, yeah, no, that's right. Highlight this, and then highlight both of these, and then insert, and then recommended charts, and then you can't really see what you want here. So all charts and then combo. And this sort of looks okay, but the problem you'll notice right off the bat is that everything is using a single axis, and we don't want that because new customers, which is the blue column, is on the same axis. 54 is on the same axis as what looks like 500. So it's gonna be very small. So for the dollar values, we want that on the y-axis, but for the customers, we want that on a secondary axis off to the right side. And so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the customer acquisition to a line like this. And then for the customers, I want that on the secondary axis like this. And so you can see the dollar values on the left, which is are the two lines, and then the, I guess, normal values or general formatted as just numbers on the right side of the secondary axis. And so yeah, so that's how you calculate that. The rest is just sort of general sort of housekeeping here. And let me just go to the right a little bit. Okay, so here let's just call this, we can call it CAC by month. You can type in, maybe if maybe somebody doesn't on your marketing team doesn't know what CAC means, and I think that's how you spell acquisition. I don't know if it's CQ or QC, but I think it's CQ. Okay, and then a couple other things we want to do is first let's change this or this green line to orange. So I'm just going to double click a little paint bucket, click here, and then I'm also going to make it thinner. It's sort of just taking up a little bit too much real estate. We just want to see it, and then maybe make it dotted, right? And you can make it a little bit bigger, but we don't want it to get in the way, essentially. And then finally, I want to add the values. And so I don't, like, if you click on the chart and you click the little crosshair, you can do data labels, but it's too noisy. So I just want to add the data label for the red line. And so I'm going to click on that line and then do data labels here. And then finally, because it's still a little bit hard to see some of these, like this right here, what I'll do is I'll click on one and then I'll go to the home, and then for the under font you can have a fill color and then choose whatever color you want, but I just chose that color and you can see it's visible now. All right, so that's essentially how you can calculate customer acquisition costs. If you have any questions about this, shoot me an email, questions@databoards. But also you need to make sure you can get as many costs, overhead costs, for this. Things like, marketing cost, the overhead attributed to marketing. If you have salespeople, not technicians, but salespeople, you would also wanna factor in their costs as well. And also if you need some help creating these files, these are pretty basic. If you don't have something like this, you should definitely start to create, something like this because you can get a lot of information. I'm showing you one KPI, but there's going to be a lot of KPIs you can create from this. You should also, have more information than just this. But again, if you need some help with that, there's a link to download, or a link to hop on my calendar. If you want this file, there's a link in the description to download it. Same with this. It'll all be in the same file. But if not, then that's all I got for this video, and I'll see you in future lessons.